Hello, Bedminster Youth Club. Here we go again in the kitchen. I'm here today to give you a little recipe. Obviously, to keep your spirits up. Hope everything's all right. We look forward to seeing you again. I bumped into a couple of you on the street as people are out and about a bit more often now, and it was really nice just to wave, say hi, and think about times when we might actually be able to meet up again. In the meantime, I'm going to give you my special recipe. It's very straightforward really, but it's interesting to see how it all comes together for guacamole. I'm sure some of you will have guessed. If you ever have a long conversation with me, which I wouldn't recommend, about what I've been up to for the last 5 years, then you'd find out that I actually used to run a Mexican food establishment. I love the food, and I love the fact that it's quite often misunderstood. So it's quite nice talking to people about how lovely and fresh the ingredients are, and how actually a lot of it is, by its very nature, free from dairy and animal products and wheat and gluten and things like that. Just full of lots of really nice fresh ingredients. And this is a great example of that. So with guacamole, obviously you're going to need some avocados. A little test of your avocados, just squeeze it gently by the little nub there, to feel a little bit of give. You should be able to tell that they're soft. And this amazing thing here, you don't need. As usual in my cooking, there's always replacements. There's always things you could do differently. And it's up to you to find your own way. This is called a molcajete. This molcajete here, this is the tejolote over here. And it's like a fancy Mexican pestle and mortar. You'll notice it's a bit flatter than a normal pestle and mortar. It's a way of squashing stuff down, grinding stuff together. You don't need that, obviously, because they're very expensive and come from fancy shops. You could just do it in a bowl with a fork or a pestle and mortar or the back of a spoon. Doesn't really matter. So yeah, your avos, really important. What else you're going to need is some kind of onion. I'm using chopped red onion here, but you could use spring onions. And my secret ingredient with a good guacamole is not just coriander, fresh coriander, but the stems. This here is the stems of the coriander. I've got some nice, lovely flaky salt, but any salt will do. And some chilies, because I like a bit of heat in there. Leave them out if you don't like that. Some fresh tomatoes, once again. It works without them. I quite like the moisture that it brings. Some lime, the greatest fruit in the world. Smell it and tell me that I'm wrong. And some fresh coriander. We're going to pull all those ingredients together in the most fantastic fresh guacamole in a moment, with a few interesting techniques to make it all sit nicely in that lovely way that we like in a good guacamole, not in the ones that you get in packets in the shops. Back in a minute with how to make it.